The further destruction of democracy in this country is evident in what is happening in the Republican Party. Now, I am not a celebrant of the Republican Party because the Republican Party is in fact dead. We used to have such a party in this country. We no longer do. What we have now is the Christian Fascist Party. And the effort right now being made by the Christian fascists to end the political career of Liz Cheney, because Liz Cheney told the truth about the orange filth, should speak volumes about the condition of the Christian Fascist Party. Back on January 12th, 6 days after this riot, Cheney announced that she would vote to impeach the orange bastard because of what he had done to incite this violent insurrection. This is what she said, quote, "The President of the United States summoned this mob, assembled this mob, and lit the flame of this attack. Everything that followed was his doing," end quote. And then the next day, this little prick Kevin McCarthy, the Republican House Minority Leader, this cowardly little shit, said he would not vote for impeachment, but he added this, quote, "The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding. These facts require immediate action of President Trump," end quote. Which is a total horseshit, but it sounds a little bit like Liz Cheney, doesn't it? But Kevin McCarthy is trying to get Liz Cheney's position as number 3 in the Republican Party leadership in the House removed. Liz Cheney is saying exactly what Kevin McCarthy said about the day of the insurrection. Illinois Representative Adam Kinzinger, a Republican who is a regular Trump critic, was on Sunday on Face the Nation. And he said this about Liz Cheney, quote, "She has just consistently been saying this." A few weeks later, Kevin McCarthy changed to attacking other people. I think what the reality is, as a party, Kinzinger went on, we need to have an internal look and a full accounting as to what led to January 6th. Right now, it's basically the Titanic. We're in the middle of this slow sink. Well, you know, we can question why, end quote, we can question why Kevin McCarthy, this cowardly little bastard, immediately went down to Florida to beg forgiveness from this orange vomit that now runs the Christian Fascist Party. But why bother? See, there were 10 Republicans who voted to impeach this scummy, filthy Donald Trump on January 13th. And when that vote occurred with 10 Republicans, it marked, in fact, an historic milestone because it was the most House members from a sitting president's party to vote to remove that president from office in the history of the country. BFD, right? But since that vote, the 10 lawmakers who voted to impeach this, or to convict this son of a bitch, or to impeach him, I'm sorry, they've got different paths in trying to deal with the fallout from having the nerve to tell the truth, as they're all considering their political futures in the Christian Fascist Party. Again, they think that they're still Republicans. They are not. They are members of the Christian Fascist Party until they either resign or are tossed out, forced out, gotten rid of by the orange bastard. Now, both Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, both Republicans, both representatives, have made their votes career-defining. This is how these two will be remembered in history, if they're remembered at all. They're arguing that pushing back against Trump's bullshit that the election was stolen is about protecting democracy, and they add protecting the soul of the Republican Party. Well, Ms. Cheney, Mr. Kinzinger, are you fucking kidding me? Your party lost its soul 40 years ago. You don't have a soul in the Republican Party. The Republican Party, listen to me, Cheney, Kinzinger, the Republican Party is dead. It's a fucking zombie. I realize it's still walking around, but it's a zombie. You ought to get out of the way, both of you. You now have the Christian Fascist Party. But others who voted to impeach this filthy bastard, like Anthony Gonzalez, a Republican of Ohio, Jamie Butler, Republican of Washington, Peter Major, Republican of Michigan. Now, these are three who have defended their votes. And Liz Cheney, amid this push to throw her out of her leadership position. Although these Republicans who voted to impeach have not made too big a deal about it. They don't want to get the death ray focused from Mar-a-Lago onto them. So while they may say within the caucus, within the zombie party, well, we support Liz Cheney, they're not going to say it out loud for fear that the orange vomit will hear them and try to destroy them too. And then you have the other ones, the other six, have quietly moved on. Now, they stand by their decision when asked privately. And they seem to be in line with the Republican Party's leadership argument that what is important now is opposing President Biden's agenda and regaining the majority in the 2022 midterms, not what happened in the 2020 election. Oh, no, that's not going to happen as long as the orange vomit is still sucking air. It's just not going to happen. Now, if Liz Cheney, according to the Washington Post, if she's tossed out of her leadership position this week, they're going to have a vote, I think, on Wednesday, it would really bring into focus how much the January vote to impeach the orange vomit by those 10 Republican lawmakers was not the start of some bigger movement to free the Republican Party from this scum-sucking bastard. No. It was just a momentary blip of resistance in a dead political party that has been in bed with the orange vomit since he entered the White House in 2017 and remains loyal to him even now. I wish I could further or fully understand this outside the boundaries of madness and insanity, but I can't. These people are fucking crazy. Brendan Buck, this guy was an advisor under former House Speaker Paul Ryan. And this is what old Brendan said, quoted in the Post, of Donald Trump, quote, "He revels in score settling. So most of these folks have smartly just tried to keep their heads down. Cheney has taken a different approach. And while it's super commendable, he will take great pleasure in seeing her removed from power. They'll all have targets on their backs. But Cheney really sent up a flare to attract his ire, and I'm sure they're watching and learning." Any other Republican, end quote, any other Republican legislator who wants to stand for truth. And every one of these rotten, slimy fuckers all claim to be Christians. Oh, we go to church on Sunday. Oh, we pray. Oh, we're Christians. And yet they lie and support a criminal, rot-filled bastard like Donald Trump? These are Christians? No. These are Christian fascists. Please make the distinction. I know some Christians, and they're good people. I don't agree with their religious mythology, but they're good people. And they try to practice what they think Jesus of Nazareth told them to do. But these are not Christians. These people in the U.S. House and Senate who claim to be Christians, these are Christian fascists. These are people who would beat the shit out of Jesus if he showed up. They would attack him with goddamn clubs, iron poles, American flags, anything. They're Christian fascists. Now, back to Liz Cheney. As opposed to report, she's increasingly been at odds with the Republican Party and her fellow House Republican leaders over her decision to constantly call out the orange bastard on his false claims that the election was stolen and the lies he told about the attack on the Capitol. And Cheney has made it very clear she's not going to stop. I mean, why should she? I don't agree with Liz Cheney on her political points of view. She voted with the Trump agenda 93% of the time that he was in office. Okay? Strike one, strike two. But she didn't hit strike three when she voted to impeach this filthy scum bastard, and when she continues to speak out, she may wind up with a base on balls, but she did not strike out in my mind. So she's made clear she's not going to stop saying what she's saying, and her colleagues are expected to vote her out of leadership during a conference meeting day after tomorrow. And guess who's going to replace her? Representative Elise Stefanik, Republican in New York, who is less of a conservative than Liz Cheney, and had basically the same things to say about this filthy pig Trump all during her time in office and his time in office. But never mind, she did a flip-flop. And now she's willing to take out her knee pads and get down in front of Trump and do for him what he really loves to see women do. And her reward? She gets to be number 3 in the House leadership. Ooh. Now, yesterday on Fox News, this cowardly little prick, Kevin McCarthy, didn't directly mention Liz Cheney when he endorsed this new little Trump whore. That's exactly what she is, Elise Stefanik. You don't like my use of words? I don't care. She is a Trump whore, W-H-O-R-E. So the cowardly little Kevin McCarthy didn't mention her name. Or, I mean, he mentioned her name, didn't mention Cheney. But he said that the Republican Party was looking for someone who would focus on priorities that unite the Republican Party, like, you know, border security and tax policies. But Jesus Christ. Okay, Kevin. Kevin added, when he was on the Fox Sewer Sunday, quote, "We need a conference chair that is delivering that message day in and day out and uniting the nation." End quote. Uniting the nation? You ignorant little prick. Oh, my God. Now, let me digress a little bit here. This mutual respect, you might call it, for casting a consequential vote has kind of bonded those 10 pro-impeachment House Republicans. Just like the backlash that they've gotten for rebuking the orange vomit as he squats on his cheeseburger mountain down in Mar-a-Lago. 8 of the 10 have been censured by the Republican Party in their home states because they voted for justice and truth and Christian values. You phony fuckers, you people who claim to be Christians and keep supporting this goddamn monster Trump. I've said before, it almost makes me wish that your religious bullshit was true so that all of you would burn forever in hell with Satan looking down going, "Ho, ho, hello there, you little lying bastards." Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.